Welcome to In Conversation, the podcast that fuels your entrepreneurial spirit, brought to you by InHomoco. We deliver thought-provoking conversations with industry leaders, game changers, and unsung heroes, all making an impact in their communities and shaping the future of business. Let's grow together and transform the world, one business at a time.
Asfaw, I'm so delighted to be with you today. You've been a board member of us at InHomoco, in addition to being the CEO of Dashan Bank. We've had your colleagues and others in the industry refer to you as just an incredibly ethical banker and real visionary, and we're delighted to have you on our board of directors, and also that you can join us for the In Conversation podcast. So we're hoping that we can just spend some time together today hearing a little bit about you and your values and your contribution to Ethiopia's growth through the private sector. And so for those of us listening in, we're sitting in Asfaw's beautiful office in downtown Addis Ababa. It's a beautiful sunny day, and when I look out the window all around us, there's so much development happening in the country. And my first question to you, Asfaw, is I would love if you could just introduce yourself, who you are as a person, and then we're going to jump into talking about the banking sector in Ethiopia and how it's contributing to so much development. But first, tell us a little bit about who you are and your journey to where we're sitting today.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. My name is Asfaw Alemu. Currently, I'm the CEO of Dashan Bank. By profession, I'm an economist. I did both my BA and master's degree in economics. I got my BA from Addis Ababa University and my master's in economic policy management from University of Accra. So that's with regards to my educational background. But because of my career journey, I was dealing with people and institutions. So I had the interest also to really understand what management is all about. So I also enrolled myself in a certification program, and I am also a certified manager in management. So really that really helped me to really understand organizations and to understand people as well. After graduating, the first institution that I joined was Agricultural and Development Bank of Ethiopia. Now it is Development Bank of Ethiopia. That institution has given me really very good insights about Ethiopia's economy, what development financing is all about, and so on forth. Honestly, I'm very much also thankful to my late father because after graduation, all of us wants to stay in Addis, to work in Addis, because this is a developed city compared to other cities. So I said, I was assigned to the southern part of Addis, and I was disappointed, honestly. As a young kid, I said to my mother, no, I will not go there. And as mothers do here, she referred me to my father. And my father, when he heard about the news that I was assigned to the southern part of Ethiopia, he was excited. And I said, what is this man doing? And it's because of him that, that I am now bold enough to go anywhere. After serving Development Bank of Ethiopia, I was also an NGO employee as a credit specialist, and I left the country for studies, and I came back, and another field I joined the Unity University College. I was a vice president as well there, and now I came back again to the banking sector, and still I am here for the last 18 years with Dashan Bank.
Well, and it seems like there's so many diverse experience that have informed your leadership. I mean, from having that first certificate in management and understanding that people really are the heart of all of our companies and all of our communities, and understanding that you've seen that from different perspectives with the types of work that you've done. Where you are now as the CEO of Dashan Bank, you have incredible responsibility of moving money, of contributing to economic development. Certainly within the partnership that we have together between Nkomoko and Dashan Bank, you're now also investing directly in refugees. And I love to know that you've had some of that past experience of investing in small businesses, and also even just a little touch of that personal feeling of what it was like to leave home when you weren't ready to. And obviously, it's different from going away to school versus that forced displacement of being a refugee. But there are moments in our lives when we're asked to be out of our comfort zone. I think talking with you today and thinking about the banking sector, maybe you can share with us some of your thoughts or reflections around how the banking sector in Ethiopia, and particularly in your role at Dashan Bank, is stepping outside its comfort zone a little bit to have innovations, to do financial inclusion. Maybe you could share a little bit more about that with us.
Yeah. Well, as we know, for a very long time, because of the command economy that we were, in, there were no private bank players in this market. In fact, before the military regime, during the emperor's time, there were foreign private banks, which were all nationalized during the coming of the military regime. But later on, after the military regime as well, private banks, they came into perspective. So it has been now 28 years since private banks have started operation, and we are 27 years old. We just celebrated our birthday anniversary last January.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. All of us were involved in conventional banking, which is a commercial bank, and people have, customers have to come and knock at your doors and so on forth. And the issue or the agenda of financial inclusion was not there. It was also typical to Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, despite the fact that people are lining to get service, because they didn't have any alternatives. They had to spend hours and hours to get service from each branch. But later on, with the coming of the private banks, and also with the transformation process that the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia has also passed, the landscape of competition really changed in this market. So the first step was to really optimize some of our processes and introduce technology into the process to give them a better customer service. So the competition was in that space. But later there was really a change of tone or direction from the central bank that we should increase our channels, especially the bricks and mortar channels, into outside Addis, into upcountry areas and so forth. So we were, directed to increase our branch expansion by 25% every year. So that was a really tough task, because when you open a branch, it has its own cost, but apart from that, you have to make your people ready to really lead a branch, manage a branch, and so on forth. So that was really a very tough task. But as a result of that, now we have started, encountering new spaces where we really operate. So the competition is not about branch now. It's not about technology, but it's about, as you said, innovation and so on forth. So particularly with Dashan Bank, our attitude or our perception has totally changed when we passed through this strategic process, the fifth strategic process that we are currently running. The diagnostic analysis that we conducted really showed us that there were or there are community members who didn't have access to finance and who doesn't have any relationship with banks and so on forth. So we had to really identify our chosen markets. So as a result of this, these small, micro and retail businesses were really identified as one. And as really you're mentioning, there are also, refugee people, not only the refugees, but also the refugee surrounding communities are found to be, one of the areas where we can participate in, not only to boost our business, but also to really run the agenda of financial inclusion, which is also the national agenda, really, of the government. So that's, how we came up with this one. In fact, with my personal really experience, when we were in the university, there was this villageization program of the government. So in the places where I was in, there were refugees. I know how they were living and so on forth. They were struggling to make, income in whatever means they have around those areas. So I think when we talk about, financial inclusion, we have to really include everybody. So the chosen markets that we have selected now, and on top of that, the Muslim community, if you retake the Muslim community, the number is very huge. It's about 34 or 35%, according to the census taken, some years back. But now I would expect to be, more than 40-45%. So we also came up or introduced this interest-free banking for that segment as well. So I think financial inclusion, it's a national agenda. It's also a global agenda. And also we as Dashan Bank also, we are, incorporating that agenda into our strategies, and we are. That's why we're very glad to really partner with Nkomoko, because one of our key enablers in our strategic plan is about strategic partnership and collaboration. We know that even though we see the gap, we believe that we cannot do everything by our own selves. So we are using your expertise, your exposures, and also we align, to our agenda as well. So that's why we have established this partnership with Nkomoko, and I'm very happy about it.
Great.
It's
so are
moving
we.
very good.
So are we.
Yeah.
When we think about partnerships, part of what makes a good partnership for us at Nkomoko is to make sure that we are aligned, of course, for our strategic objectives. I mean, we have to be working towards the same end goal. But there's a lot of people who can walk the same path, but maybe be looking in a different way, right? And so having those same values, when we're walking in the same direction, that we're sort of being led with the same values. And that truly is one of the things that brings us to the relationship with Dashan Bank. The intensity around inclusion, the thoughtfulness around a rural presence, the inclusion of women in various different roles inside the bank as well as with your portfolio. So really we see a good values alignment. One of our values that at Nkomoko is the value of improvement, and that we are always pushing ourselves to look to see how we could be doing things better. And that could be everything from improving our organizational culture. We've talked before around how we do these happiness audits to make sure that we're really improving the experience for our employees, or being more responsive to the entrepreneurs that we serve by introducing new products. Tell me a little bit around what improvement means to you for leading Dashan Bank, and where you see your growth of the bank is.
Yeah, I mean, improvement is multifaceted, really, in my opinion. One is about process improvement. That really is very, very essential, because now the behavior of our customers is changing, the competition landscape is changing. So the agenda of really improvement is very, very important. So knowing that, we have also incorporated in our organizational structure a unit that really deals with these process improvements, product improvements, and even people improvement as well. So these three agendas are really incorporated in our strategies and activities. So every year, we set a goal, what process, what product really to improve. As you know, the mission statement of the bank makes customer centricity a pivotal point. So when we talk about customer centricity, always you really have to sit on the agenda of really improvement. So I believe we have continued our investment on our technology, which is really the main driver of improving our processes. In terms of products and services as well, we have also engaged very much in understanding the demand of our clients. Now we are in the process of implementing ERP, where the HR aspect is one. So this people aspect is very, very important for us. We are giving them not only technical trainings, but also we really engage them to pass through emotional trainings as well, stress management, and so on and so forth. So this really helps us to really balance the life of our employees as well. So in terms of that, I believe we are progressing good, and the issue or the motto that we have set, which is one step ahead, is not about the bottom line. We believe that it should be comprehensive, it should be integrated. So we are trying to really take this in a balanced manner. So now we have also interesting projects at hand, revamping our culture approach and so on forth. So yeah, we are doing that.
This is wonderful. I mean, when you have a motto like one step ahead, that really means something. Just as you ended right there of thinking about your culture, right? So one of our cultural values at Nkomoko is that we eat goat. Okay. And this is a funny phrase that we say, but for Nkomoko team members, we know that means that we come together when things are hard and we, share a meal together, or that we, support each other in hard times, or that we celebrate. And our classic question that we ask everybody on the In Conversation podcast, and my last question for you today, Asfaw, thank you again for joining us, but maybe you can close out with, what does eating goat mean to you?
It's a nice expression that really you are sharing me. But it's really, I think we have it in our blood as well.
So this is eating tips here, really.
Eating raw meat. Yeah. So normally, we have, this culture. Once in a year, we really celebrate with all the staff. We have a staff day in all regions, and in Addis as well. We have a very big celebration where we thank each other, and where we eat, we dance. So this is one culture really that really we have developed. Apart from that, I have a monthly lunch meeting with my chiefs as well. We don't talk business. We just laugh and we chat, and we talk nonsense at that time for about 2 hours or so. So this is how we really interpret your version of eating goat. So we eat raw meat.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I can join you for Kitfo one meal,
Yeah.
and we'll eat some goat, eat some beef together. But,
Yeah.
Asfaw, thank you again for being a fantastic partner, for joining us on today's In Conversation podcast, and for all the work that you do to continue to bring financial inclusion across Ethiopia, to underserved communities, and to really invest in the development of an incredibly diverse and vibrant country. So we are delighted to be your partner, and Amasekanalo.
Thank you very much, Sarah. We are also delighted really to have started this partnership because it will take us, I believe, one step ahead in the space that really we are focusing at. So I look forward really to give whatever I have to Incomoco as its board member as well, and as partners. I'm very happy, and it was a delightful moment that I had with you too.
Thank you.
At Inhomoco, we are dedicated to empowering entrepreneurs across Africa with the tools, resources, and knowledge they need to flourish in today's competitive business landscape. Now, we are bringing that passion to this podcast, taking you on a journey through inspiring stories from around the globe.